everybody, my name is Melissa Welsh. I'm the founder of Pixel Sense and Melissa Welsh Photography.
And I'm Amanda Haddo, founder of Amanda Haddo Photography, and this is Wine Down Wednesday. Grab a glass.
You.
So,
I guess today I got something really exciting in the mail.
yeah.
It is a beautiful album that we had done for a client by Album Apoca. And Amanda hasn't seen it yet.
I'm super excited. Just came in.
And so I thought it would make for a really good, quick conversation because the way that I sold this album was different than any other album. I've been a wedding photographer for 18 years. And going into this season and even this particular sales session, I made the decision going into it that I wanted to sell my biggest album. Like I've never sold my biggest album.
Yeah.
It's just like always been there. And I was like, well, I've never tried. Like I've never actually consciously made the decision that I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
And so Caitlin and I don't do my sales sessions anymore. My studio manager Caitlin does them. And so Caitlin and I sat down like literally an hour before they came in and I just told her, I want you to sell the biggest album and this is how we're gonna do it. So I'm gonna go get the album. Amanda can check it out.
Can't wait, you guys.
And I'll just tell you a little bit about what I've done this year.
Goodness.
So first of all, you gotta lift it up.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's super duper heavy, you guys. The quality feels amazing. What size is this album?
So this is a 16 by 16.
I don't know if you guys can see, but we can do a quick shoot
Yeah,
of
let's
the
do
actual.
Wow. Oh my god.
It's incredible, you guys.
Oh my god.
It's beautiful. Oh my goodness.
It's a really, I can barely hold it with one hand.
I want to take a look. Wow. So
Okay.
it's engraved with their name on the front.
Yep.
Gorgeous picture.
You know what I'm gonna do is in the comments or in the blog post, I'll write down all the details of
Yeah, you
exactly
have
what this
to.
album is. So yeah, I've been working with Album Apoca albums probably for about 4 or 5 years. One of the little pieces of advice I got from the first photographer that I ever worked for was to always buy the most expensive and the best quality products you can afford. Because if you have a bad day behind the camera, your photos look less crappy in a really beautiful product than they do.
Oh man, I don't think your photos could look crappy. These are unbelievable.
But it's funny because I was like, I don't know, I was like an 18, 19-year-old kid back then when I got that little piece of advice. So it's something that I've always, it was John McKay in Windsor, Ontario, taught me that. And so it's just something that I've always practiced in my business. So I've always brought in the best, highest quality products that I can. And then yeah, so anyway, that day in the sales room, I guess what I did this year, there was a couple of things that happened before the sales session, and I guess the biggest change I made this year for my wedding clients is that I actually split up my digital collection. So I split up the candidates and the formals. And the way that I explained this to my clients, when we were booking their wedding originally, was that I sell a candid collection of digital files for $500. And that is basically anything that just happened in the day. Like any of the event style coverage, they'll get on that disc or that USB drive or whatever it is. But all of the formals, like all of the photos that take my own set of skills and artistic eye and all those sort of things, I reserve those photographs or I reserve those digital files, and they're actually only available unless they purchase a physical print of that image or that particular image ends up in the album. I go on to explain all the retouching that we do for each individual photograph to make sure that every photograph is absolutely perfect. With photos that go into our album, the idea behind them is that like every image should be able to stand on its own. Like if I had to submit it for salon, obviously not every image is salon worthy, but we at least look at each one of those images and try to take out all the distracting elements, blah, blah, blah. So when I explain that to my clients, they get it, you know? And
Ooh, I love that one.
the guys, we'll have to throw some of the photos up too for you
Yeah,
guys.
you guys have to see this.
So anyway, what we did in the sales room that day was a little bit of strategy, and we used an incentive, and that's what I wanted to talk about. Basically, when Caitlin offered them the album, we showed 2 albums up on the screen, and we showed the Artist's Choice album, which was this album, so we called it the Artist's Choice. and then we showed them like the traditional, regular old album after that. Okay, so we
Right.
showed
Oh,
them
gosh.
we showed them the layout exactly the way that I felt as an artist their wedding was meant to be laid out, with all of these feature photos and everything like that. And then we showed them the traditional album, which was the price that I had quoted them in our initial meeting. So our wedding albums start at $2,000 or $2,300 or whatever it is. So then I showed them that album, and it was 1 image per page, 20-page album. So, 20 images, and it was just like very simple, clean layout, 1 image per page. So we showed them the first one, then we showed them that one. Well, then, of course, they wanted the first one because it was so beautiful.
Oh.
And what we told them was basically that if they decided to purchase the Artist Choice album that day, that we would throw in the entire collection of formals. So
Oh,
they would get their
wow.
entire digital collection of
Oh, wow.
formals if they purchased this album. Now, this album was $6,500.
Yeah.
So that's how I sold my biggest album. I had never tried to do it before, but it worked and it totally made sense and they loved it. And the thing is, at the end of the day, I didn't do it just because I wanted to make a big sale. I did it because I wanted them to have this.
This is stunning, you guys.
Like, I feel like for me, like, this is a piece of art. Like, I have
Yeah,
just
it's
created
unbelievable.
like this unbelievable piece of art for my clients, and when I flip through it, I just think about like their kids and everybody who is gonna love it. You gotta hold it up a little bit because I think we're cropped there. There we go. That's better. So anyway, yeah, this is the most exciting thing that's happened in the studio this week is we get to deliver this beautiful piece of art to
They
a couple
are
of our
gonna
clients.
love
And this is the warm fuzzy stuff for me anyway.
it. Yeah,
It's,
for sure.
yeah, I love
It's
doing this.
gorgeous. It's amazing.
So anyway,
Congratulations.
and I guess that's this episode of Wind Down Wednesdays. If you have any questions about how I run my wedding business or the wedding album or incentives, sales room, the digital files especially, I know that's come up a few times and how I've split those things up. Make sure you leave some comments below, and
where can they find you?
of course pixelsense.com everybody, or you can find us on Facebook and Twitter. All right,
Awesome.
that's it for today.
I'm not gonna grab a glass, but you can. That's Wind Down Wednesday.
There we go. Cheers.